floor, and it floats on that cushion of air. And that's very low friction, and so it goes really nicely. David's going to show us what happens if we turn the air off. It doesn't go very far.
Yeah.
So that's a cute little demonstration, don't you think, David?
It's very cute, Frank, but I'm worried about the people in the back again. They're so far away.
You couldn't see that? Would it help if there was a bigger air puck? Bigger? Let's see. They got something back there?
Let's see what we got.
Our next demonstration is the vacuum cannon. And David's going to tell us a little bit about the vacuum cannon.
There are a few key ingredients to the vacuum cannon. First is this long piece of plastic tube. What Frank's doing right now is he has sealed up that end. He's going to seal up this end. But before he seals up this end, he can't forget to put in the ping pong ball. So we'll leave this right here for Frank. And I'm going to bring over the vacuum pump, because the next thing we'd want to do is attach the vacuum pump and get all the air out of the tube. And when we're done with the pump, there are going to be two things left in the tube: the ping pong ball and nothing. Then we're going to be a little sneaky. We're going to take something sharp and we're going to puncture the seal on this end. And then miles and miles of atmosphere are going to start pressing down on this side of the ping pong ball. Does anybody remember what's on the other side of the ping pong ball? Nothing. So miles of atmosphere are pushing on this side. Nothing's pushing on this side. The atmosphere is going to win. The ping pong ball will start shooting down here faster and faster and faster. On the other end of the tube, we have this unsuspecting, innocent aluminum can. We'll see what happens. Now, this is also a good one to count down, but I like doing it with my hands over my ears because this gets a little loud, especially when it's right in front of you. Okay, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. I think that's ping pong ball 1, can nothing, or at least nothing was somehow involved in there.
Next demonstration is our t-shirt cannon. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave atmospheric pressure on one side of our t-shirt. We're going to add more pressure on the other side, and we're going to see what happens. So we've got atmospheric pressure pushing on one side, and we're going to put 2 times atmospheric pressure on the other side.
Who wants a t-shirt?
let's try 3 times atmospheric pressure. We've got one more shirt. Let's try 4 times atmospheric pressure. If you didn't get a t-shirt, have no fear. They're for sale outside of the theater. If you're wondering what we do with some of the proceeds from ticket sales, t-shirt sales, donations, we think we're doing a lot of good things for physics education in Northern California, but by far the biggest and best thing we do is we put on the physics show for local Title I schools. These are schools where a vast majority of the students qualify for a free or reduced price lunch. Some of the teachers tell us it's the only field trip they go on all year. They just cannot afford it, the cost of buses. We pay for everything. We pay for the transportation. We put on the physics show. The kids get a tour of our beautiful campus. They even get a physics show Foothill College t-shirt. As David likes to say, every kid now has a t-shirt with the name of a college on it, and that t-shirt has nothing to do with sports. What we're seeing is a time lapse of one day. We did 6 days like this. About 5,000 kids were able to participate. We want to thank you for making that possible. Thank you. Now, we're in a little bit of a different situation for us this weekend. Our shows are not all sold out. Usually by this time, our shows have all sold out. So if you had a good time today, let your friends know, your classmates, neighbors. Tickets still available for tomorrow and next weekend. thephysicshow.com. Help us spread the word. Thank you. We'd appreciate it. So we started talking about pressure, and we never told you what pressure was, did we? Pressure is a force per unit area. A force per area. What does that mean? It means if you're running around the house and you bump into the side of the table, not so bad, right? But if you bump into the corner of the table, ow, that feels very different, right? The same force concentrated on a small area feels very different. If David pushes on me with his open palm, not so bad. If he pushes on me with the same force with the tip of a needle, ow, right? Very different. The force concentrated on a small area feels very different. And maybe you've seen somebody chopping vegetables in the kitchen. If that knife is nice and sharp, it goes right through the food, right? But if that knife is dull, the force is spread out over a bigger area. It doesn't have the same effect on the food. Pressure, it's a pressure thing. So we're going to do a little demonstration with 2 of our favorite things. Balloons and nails.
Best friends forever. So we're going to start off and we're going to try and balance this balloon on just 2 nails. Let's see how it works for Mr. Balloon there. Not so bad. Ah!
Just the threat of putting the weight was enough to pop the balloon.
We're going to try that again, only this time we're going to put the balloon on 2 rows of nails. And I know what you're thinking. More nails means more holes, means it's going to pop even faster, right? Well, let's find out. 1 weight, 2 weights, 3 weights? 4 weights? 5 weights? 6 weights? Frank, we're all done waiting. Hey, Frank, did you bring your indestructible balloon to the physics show today?
Sometimes I'm sneaky.
Kids, is there any way we could figure out whether or not he brought his indestructible balloon? Put it on the first 2 nails? Oh, Frank, I think you're getting the point.
It's a sharp crowd today, David.
Clearly, that balloon was not indestructible.
It appears the number of nails makes a difference. If you put a balloon on 2 nails and try to put 20 pounds of weight on top, each nail would have to push with the force of 10 pounds to hold up its share of the weight. But if you have 20 nails and you try to put 20 pounds of weight on top, each one only has to push with the force of 1 pound. The more nails there are, the less each one has to push to hold up its share of the weight.
So, Frank, let me see if I've got this right. If I put a balloon on just 2 nails,
Bad news for the balloon.
but if I put a balloon on 2 rows of nails,
Not so bad.
Frank, does this work for things that aren't balloons?
It does even physics students.
Oh, Frank, if I put a physics student on just 2 nails,
Bad news for the physics student.
but if I put a physics student on a whole bed of nails?
Let's see what happens.
She's got a bed of nails underneath her. She's got a bed of nails on top of her. We've carefully balanced a cinder block, and I've got a sledgehammer. We have to do a safety check here. Any leaks? No leaks, she's good. So there's a lot of good physics keeping her safe during that demonstration. The first thing I think about is that she's kind of like a big balloon. If we put her on top of only 2 nails, oh, that would be bad news. But we put her on top of about 800 nails. With 800 nails, each nail only has to push up with a tiny amount of force to support her weight and the weight of everything on top of her. The second thing I'm thinking about is this is not the first time we've seen this demonstration today. And I'm sure you're looking at me saying, well, sure you did it at 10 and sure you did it at 1, but we haven't seen this yet. Kinda you did when we did that hammer and anvil. the inertia of the anvil protected the student's hand from the hammer. Well, the top bed of nails in this cinder block, they have inertia. They're at rest. They want to stay at rest no matter what the hammer wants them to do. And then finally, the hammer's got a lot of energy as it's going through the air. A lot of that energy goes into busting up the cinder block. So there's a lot of really great physics keeping our students safe. And it's just a fun way for us to end our show.
So today we talked about inertia, the pendulum, pressure. Those are all topics under physics. Physics is part of science. Did you have fun? Foothill physics instructor David Marasco. Our students on Perkins, Evan Perez, Laurel Wiley. We have other students helping backstage and in front of the stage. I'm Frank Castellano. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next year at the Physics Show.